I wasn't.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? With me tonight, as always, I have the Filia Noctis.
Hello, my name's Filia.
And we got Mina.
Hello, my lovely hauntlings.
And joining us today is a returning guest, Casey, War Alien. Hey, Casey, how's it going?
It's going.
We love
We're
having
going to
you back.
outnumber the
You didn't
boys
hit me.
tonight.
You didn't hit me with your famous tagline. What is it? It's either I'm awake, I'm standing,
I'm
or you.
I'm upright.
Yeah, I'm upright. Yeah, you didn't hit me with your I'm upright today.
Man, like, I got my VA therapist, right? And she'll call and she's like, wow, you didn't tell me you were upright today. And I don't know if that's good or bad.
I'm out of the ground.
Yeah, I'm mobile.
You know,
that's as far as we've gotten.
You know, it's become a
As you-
catchphrase when people start realizing you didn't say it.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't realize I said it that often until she mentioned it and you just mentioned it. And I'm like, wow, I do say that a lot, don't I?
Oh, where's my
So,
button?
in case the listeners can't tell, we're old friends with Miss Casey,
Yes.
and we always love having her with us. She's just, you just can't pull one over on her, and she calls shit like it is. People love her.
That's one way of putting it.
So,
Even
real quick-
Valkyrie
oh,
Phoenix
yeah.
says you say it a lot.
Yeah.
Because Valkyrie Phoenix
All the
comedy,
time.
you do.
She'll message me. We're friends from the Navy. She'll message me, and it'll be like 4 or 5 days before I respond. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I forgot to hit send. But the message is always, I'm upright. Matt agrees too. That's
Yeah.
fine.
So,
All right.
It's unanimous.
let's tell the people here that don't. Oh, well, before we do that, we have some people in here that I don't know. There's a new person just popped in. Legion K.
I think that's
Hello, Legion K.
I know
We are Legion,
From
for we are many.
Discord servers.
And Streamlabs.
Yeah, Streamlabs is. I'm
Anyway,
working on getting Streamlabs to
we
do
have
some work for us. We have Valkyrie Phoenix.
so we got
Valkyrie Phoenix, like I said, is my girlfriend. If you guys
so.
need an editor, I would hit her up. She is great.
We have.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so welcome, Valkyrie.
We have the amazing What the Fuck, and both of those are quotes.
What the fuck?
Both of those quotes, What the Fuck, are in our quote system. So, yeah.
But keep
You know,
looking for him.
he has a very apropos name, considering the majority of the stuff he says makes us go, what the fuck?
Exactly. We've got Game White Wolf. Hey, dude.
That's Matt.
And
You guys will get to know him
Matt.
soon, I promise.
And again, Legion K, welcome. We're not sure who you are. If we know who you are,
Legion K
but you're in hiding, just DM one of us.
Legion K is one
Yeah.
of Casey's friends, I believe.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. And just so you guys know, Miss Mia is the voice behind the yellow line.
Yes, I'm the
At
Nevermore
some point,
Collective
we did
today.
have Joker's Demise in general in here. So, hey to those guys if they are still here. I haven't seen them chat in a while.
Let me go up here.
Are you trying to summon Raven and not just summon him, but summon him full of rage?
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, I have so much rage right now about what we're gonna talk about. I don't know if there's enough room for all of the rage.
Well,
let's
Casey, let me put it this way. Raven will rant and rave for an hour how Texas toast is not toast unless he toasts the bread. Otherwise, it's just Texas bread.
And it's just really thick.
It will legitimately piss him off.
I saw the general. I don't know if the general is still here. He hasn't said anything.
I did not see general in the participants. So if the general is still here, the general needs to type something so we know he's here.
And if you
I hear the general has. I hear the general has pretty cheap car insurance.
I heard that.
Sock Goblin, if you want to send me your Burb Rolodex, let me put my email in here. Actually, you could send it on Twitter too.
But segueing back into what Casey said, because I didn't miss that. Casey, why are you full of rage right now?
Oh God, there's so many reasons. But
well, wait a minute. We didn't get her to tell who she is.
Oh,
right.
God. So I am a writer. I do a lot of creepypasta, no sleep, stuff like that. I am a published poet. I've had short stories published in anthologies. I've been in the community a very long time. Some people are probably familiar with me from working with a certain large narrator. I worked under him for like 4 years. I've just been in and out of this community for a long time. I kind of part of the furniture at this point. I think you guys couldn't pay to get rid of me.
We don't want to pay to get rid of you. We don't want to get rid of you.
Not yet. Let's see how this interview goes, though.
And we just had Alice, Queen of Hell, join us.
Welcome, Alice. Okay, so the topic tonight, we actually, it's not just going to be us talking. I would like input from the listeners.
Peanut Gallery.
From the
I'm
community.
gonna call you guys the Peanut Gallery.
Okay. As to how you feel on certain subjects and stuff, because maybe we're getting part of this all wrong. That could happen.
Well,
A lot of friends tend to think a lot alike, and sometimes they won't see something from a specific viewpoint.
I don't think that
I don't know about that, because there's federal laws about what we're gonna talk about, and I'm ready to file a lawsuit.
There's
okay.
Here's the
well,
thing.
and then there's
I don't think that there's a narrator in the community at all that doesn't work with authors of some sort. Even I just blanked my head. Cleveland Thought from Bone. Even he has people he works with other than just his stuff. Sabian,
who was a fantastic author.
I text her. He just derailed my brain. But
did he pop in here?
Yes, not everybody does. Okay. I don't know one author that writes every single thing that they put on. Maybe Brandon Faircloth. But other people have done his stuff. So, Lighthouse Horror has done a lot of Brandon Faircloth stuff. I can't pronounce his name that he uses on YouTube and Reddit, so I just call him Brandon Faircloth.
He might not write all of his stuff, but he damn well writes enough of it to go about 50%. Because between Sabian and Doughboy, those two pretty much produce all the content for his channel, minus the shorts.
Yeah, but
so
it's important that we treat our writers correctly.
Okay, so let's start off at the top. Tell us what happened.
Ding ding.
So this narrator, who's gone by several names, has a decent following, maybe 20,000 people, goes by Zach Baby TV or Campfire Tales, reaches out to me on recommendation from one of my friends. And I'm like, yeah, you can do my stories, no big deal. Because you guys know me, I am not terribly picky. If you want to do my story, cool. I check his channel.
I have several viewers on my channel.
Yeah, all of you guys have done my stories.
Yeah.
Getting ready to do
But I check his channel after the release, and I was like, oh, he changed the title of my story. Not cool. I start watching the video. There's no creditation to me in the video. There's no mention of my story title. And he turns the entire intro into him about his military service. And I don't know if everybody knows this. I'm a veteran. I'm ex-Navy. So when I write military stories, it's based on my experiences to some extent. So I'm irritated. I'm already irritated. And I get a hold of this dude and I was like, hey, is there a reason you changed the title of my story? And he responds with a message that was like, yeah, it's for the views. It's so I get more subs. Author story titles are just too long.
Yeah, it got to fit on the thumbnail.
Well,
Casey. So Casey, on that note, I saw some of his titles such as "Never Hiking Again." Let me tell you, if I was just a standard viewer and I came across that thumbnail with that title, I wouldn't have any interest in watching the video because where shorter titles do help, you need you need something that catches the ear, not just a short title. So that guy is already fucking up, in my opinion.
Well, and I completely understand how SEO works. I've been on the internet a long time. I have a business. I know how SEO
Yes, you have.
Works. Yes. And if the title is too long for the YouTube slot, narrators include it on the title card. They mention it in the description. Mm-hmm. There's still creditation there. And part of the issue with not using the author's title is each author has its own individual following. Like I have a Korean fan site. So when people who like my writing go to search on YouTube, not terrible things in the Navy is not going to pop up my story. It's not. And as a narrator, you got to kind of play on that, even if we seem like a smaller writer. There's people who like our stories and who will search them out. It may be 1 or 2, or it may be 1,000. You never know.
Yeah, and we also put in things like, and I've done this, put in things like Casey Weary Alien into the YouTube search.
Yeah.
Just to see who else has done certain stories.
Yeah.
Well, and that's just
like
it.
if you go to any one of my videos, for accreditation, the name's on the thumbnail, the author's name's on the thumbnail, the author's name's in the description, all the links are pretty much front and center, and at the end I thank them. So I credit the author 4 different times in one video. So by the end of the video, you don't know who the author is. You kind of not been paying attention, and that's really not on. But I always found it super important to make sure, the author is pretty much put front and center.
Yeah, me too. It's
Always.
Before. See, when I do my own work, there's no title given in the video, other than, well, visually. But if I'm doing somebody else's, if it's a narrator video, Mina narrates video, it's gonna have, Casey Weir, I'm a horror writer, and something terrifying is happening by Casey Weir Alien. It's going to be in the title, it's going to be in the description, and it's going to be in the video right before I start, in that break after I say, let me whisper to your ears.
Yeah. So, I am assuming that you did not hear from the narrator beforehand.
Well, he had asked me,
can I shorten this?
Oh, yeah, no, he never asked me to change anything. He asked if he could do my story, and I was like, yeah, my buddy recommended you. Cool, no big deal. Kind of the same way you guys got to doing my stories, heard of me through the grapevine kind of thing.
Heard it through the grapevine.
This dude, not only, the only credit I got was at the very, very bottom of the description. It was a link to the original story. Still did not mention my name. Did not mention my story title. It just said author's credit with a link. And I'm like, that's irritating. That's irritating. What really pissed me off, this guy made my story about him. He, in not crediting me, and the way he did this video, because it is a military story, he was like, I'm a Navy veteran. He showed off these ball caps from the ship gift store. And so everybody commenting was like, oh, this is your experience. And I was like, no, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed my story. He did not write this. And as I was listening to the story, not only did he not include proper accreditation, he changed my story. He changed the wording. And it wasn't like the accidental slip up, like you added a word or dropped a word or whatever. He changed the swears, which doesn't usually bother me because I know some people don't swear. No big deal. But he changed the tense of the story. It would go from past tense to present tense to, it was flippant all over the place. And he reworded entire sections.
See, that's not cool.
So... Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I can understand people not wanting to swear, but I don't swear all the time in my videos. And usually when I do it for emphasis. And I've had people take them out, and I was just like, that just doesn't hit nearly as hard as it, what you taking out that word. That I understand why you did it, but that line does not hit nearly as hard as it does the way I wrote it. It takes something away from the story. Now, if you're swearing obscenely, you're just doing it a lot, then yeah, I can understand. But it's just if there's a here and there, there's probably a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and if you've ever been in the Navy,
Sailors.
swearing, yeah, it's a sailor story written by a sailor about being a sailor. There's context there that
matters. A certain amount of cursing.
Yeah.
You need the cursing.
I'm Irish, Scottish, and I grew up with a father who was in the Marine Corps. I learned how to swear early on.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and
Um,
I asked this dude
In
about
fact,
it. I'm like, Zach, what is going on here? He tried to tell me all
you
of the
reached out.
I did. I was so pissed. I was
Okay.
like, hey, is there a reason you changed the title of my story? And he went on that rant, and I was like, I noticed you did this. Not okay with that. And what he did was diminish and devalue what I was saying. And this guy has 20,000 followers. Like, he's bigger than some, but not huge. If Mr. Creeps, if David Hetrick, if these people, like David Hetrick has 1.2 million followers, translated my story into another language and still kept everything the same, why can't you?
right?
It's clearly not a follow
Right.
if I'm having these large narrators do my stories. My stories have been listened to over 1 million times between YouTube and podcasts.
Yep.
So why are you the first person to
You
do
have
to
this?
change
And when he approached me, he was like, oh, I'm woefully undersubscribed. I should be as big as Mr. Creeps or Mr. Creepypasta or any of these big names we really know in the community. And after seeing his video, it was like,
Oh wow.
Oh.
That would have
yeah.
done it for me right there.
Oh,
It's like, no.
see. You want to know someone who's woefully undersubscribed, Casey? You want to hear a narrator who's woefully undersubscribed and brings his A game for every video? Minute 22 only has 31K subscribers, and that motherfucker deserves 100K because he is magnificent
awesome.
at his
Yeah,
craft.
he is.
You should reach out to him and have him read your stories because he would kill them.
I let people approach me. I don't like pushing my stories. If a narrator reads my stories and is like, yeah, this resonates with me, awesome. I'm here so people can enjoy what I write, whether it's reading it, narrating it, whatever. I'm not here to peddle my stories. And I do get paid to do this. Like, this isn't a free thing for most narrators. There's some narrators I let do free. That's a whole thing I have. But, like, I'm not one to go out and push my stories. If you want to do them, let me know. You know, I'm not out trying to make millions. This guy, though.
Yeah.
Like, he tries saying he's friends with all these big names. He knows everybody in the community. Everybody does this. And I worked for a narrator with well over 1 million subscribers every single day for the last 4 years. Had never heard of this dude. I knew the entire friend circle. I know a lot of large narrators from what I've done. And I was like, do you know any of these guys? Because I can text them right now and ask.
Yeah.
And the thing he's doing with changing the titles, not giving proper accreditation, is he's violating copyright law.
Yes.
Not only is he violating copyright law, he's giving himself an edge. So if you were to ever file a DMCA, he could say, oh no, I altered it. That's not their original work.
Yes.
That is protected by fair use. And these new narrators, or these new writers, people who have had no experience with this, have no idea what fair use is. They don't know the copyright laws. So this whole time, he's been doing this, at least for several years, stealing people's stories and making it so, in his mind, he's untouchable because he feels like he's playing the law. Not realizing I was sitting here, I have an attorney on retainer for this, and I had already given them a call. I was going to take every penny this man made off of my story without any heartburn, and I was going to make sure he could never narrate again. And he took the story down. Now the story's down. I don't have as much damages. Is it worth the $2,000 or $3,000 an hour my lawyer's going to charge me? No, but I can raise
Probably
awareness
not.
within the community.
And the thing is
But
that
Yeah.
he was not approachable and very understanding when you took your concerns to him.
No, he degraded me. Like, I had no idea what I was talking about because he feels at 20,000 subs, he's untouchable. He's a large narrator. I am just this peon writer he can bowl over. Not knowing me.
So I had Sorry, Case, go ahead.
I was going to say, he
I'll
doesn't
chime
know
in a
me.
second.
He doesn't know what background I have in this. I was first published when I was 10 years old. I have 20 years of experience in this field. So, like,
So I had a sorry. So I had a relatively larger narrator change one of the endings to my story. However, he did ask me if he could change the ending slightly. I'm not going to mention his name because I'm not mad about this. It was actually a very good learning experience for me because it was my very first story on that someone narrated on YouTube. He asked if he could change the ending slightly, so I thought he was going to change some wording around, you know, etc., etc. He changed pretty much the entire ending and made the whole story not make sense. And I didn't ask further what he wanted to do because, you know, he's a friend and he's at that point he was a friend and he's still a friend. But I didn't ask, so when it came out, the ending he did was good until I thought about it and it completely ruined the entire plot of the story. But like I said, it was a good learning experience because now I know whenever. Well, I mean, I can make a sequel out of both endings.
Well,
I can make a sequel off both endings. But what it was a good learning experience because I've learned. When someone says, "Hey, can I change like some of your story, or can I change the wording?" I ask them specifically what they want to change. That way, I'm not caught off guard. So it was a good learning experience. So I'm not even mad.
Well, it's like this. You know the one I just recorded? Well, I didn't just, but I recorded the other day for you, PA. And there was some grammatical errors and there was some sentences that just stopped in the middle of a thought for some reason. And I'm like, I thought he had his sister edit this. And and that's when I messaged you and I said, hey, I need to change some things here. And while I'm recording it,
but
I'm sending you, can I change this? What can I change it to? That blah blah. You know, so yeah.
Well, and I've had writers approach me with that. Like, I write on a very broad spectrum. If I find it amusing, even for a second, I'll write a story about it. So there's been a few times where a narrator's like, "Hey, your story, you know, they say this, but I'm a Jewish narrator. Can we change it?" Cool. Hey, I don't swear. Can we alter this? Cool. If you ask me and approach me about a story and you want me to make it so it fits your channel and your morals and your sense of direction, I have no heartburn doing that. You guys watched me write stories for Beyond 5150 exclusively. And he changed shit all the time. He used to irritate the piss out of me.
And yes, Timothy says, honestly, considering the climate of stories on YouTube and Reddit currently, I'm very glad that I only have a year before I can practice as an LPC and LMFT intern. But Timothy I did one of his stories for a Valentine's Day, and there was a R in it, and there was one of the words that I don't say in it. And I asked him, I said, Timothy, I can't do the R for YouTube, and I don't say this. Please, can we do something? And he rewrote that little part. I mean, it was literally like 2 paragraphs. And I did the story, but I let him change it. I told him, you know, what he needed to do. And it's not just that, it's the younger narrators, and I say younger as in time on YouTube, not age, guys. See somebody like see somebody like that do that, and they think that that's okay. They don't know that it's not right. And
like, that's why it's so important to have these kind of conversations. I have filed 2 DMCA claims in my entire life. One was a robot and one was a girl who used my story without permission. People, when they're aware of the laws and the resources we have to protect writers and narrators, because the laws are there for both of us. Mm-hmm. Like, if I would write a story and revoke permission, there's laws concerning that, you know? So for a narrator to come at me and act like he was doing me a favor when I let him read my story for free? Nah, cowboy. This is about to go off the res and you're going to have a problem.
Yeah. It bothers me to no end that he did this.
And if you look at his channel, he has done this to everybody. Mm-hmm. And I told him, don't you ever let me catch you doing this to another small lawyer or writer, because he doesn't know I have a lawyer. He doesn't know how far I'm willing to take this. Mm-hmm. And if you look at his stories, it's not like he's taking Tales from the Gas Station and changing the name. He's not targeting any of the well-known writers. He's targeting people he perceives as small without knowing our background or even looking into us. Because I sent him my playlist on YouTube. If he had looked at that for 2 seconds, he would have known I'm not the one to fuck with.
Yeah. And he didn't, obviously.
There's, to me, it's also, yes, he diminished you and dismissed you, literally. He was very dismissive of you. But I also see it as like a respect thing. And there's a whole group of people in the world, Western world anyways, of a certain generation that's coming up now that they don't feel that they have to, we're talking about people that I won't take a food job in fast food because I think I'm better than that.
I'm going to be real honest, this dude was creepy and looked like he was like 45 in the video.
Right. Okay, I agree.
I don't even know if that's actually him.
That's where I was going. Is there's no respect.
Yeah, I'm gonna laugh at he sees this and he's like, "I'm 28." No, dude, you look like you've been rode hard and been wet.
Yeah, Tim, especially that. And I need to talk to you about something too, but in separate from this, so we'll not talk about this. And I did hear on Twitter some of the narrators joking about the titles of some of the videos, because some of the titles of the stories, let's be honest, have gotten very transparent.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I was a prison guard, and I just found out what our worst that we have monsters in the basement of the prison. Why are you telling me everything that's going to happen in the story?
Well, and some of that, like, it really depends on where you're posting, because everything in No Sleep is true, even if it's not.
Right.
So, like, Emma, you guys have all done Emma, I think.
I haven't. I want to, but I haven't.
I haven't.
I think I was the only one that did
Emma.
Yeah, I didn't.
But you're familiar with that story.
Yes.
Most popular story I have, I titled it Emma, got almost no traction on No Sleep. My story, I'm in the Navy and my command is covering something up. Tons of fucking traction.
Yeah.
It's just playing the SEO and what people are going to click on at that point.
But at the same time, that doesn't give away the whole story. That just gives you like
right.
It gives you a taste. That's what I wanted to say. It gives you a taste, a little bite that says, hey, I'm in the Navy and something bad happened, and I'm not telling you what it is. You're going to have to read the story or listen to the story.
Well, and the thing even with the titles, like with what you're talking about, if you as a narrator see a title and you go, you don't have to do that. If the dude didn't like my title, it's not like he was obligated to read my story.
Right.
Right.
You can go, this isn't my speed. It may be somebody else's, I don't like this. You don't approach that writer then and go, I don't really like this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Right.
Because that's not how that works.
And it's...
I pick my stories by the title. Like, honestly, that's how I pick stories. I don't generally read them before I ask, but if I'm scrolling through and a story title catches my eye, I'm gonna go, hey, can I read this story?
Hi, Scary Tellers. Scary Tellers Tell.
I'm a weirdo, I know.
But
I
that's a
miss
good.
Army Mess Hall coffee.
Too much.
That's a good point. The title. It's when I name my
It's supposed to
stories.
entice you,
Yeah.
not tell you the basics.
It's supposed to say, "Hey, I got a story for you, and I'm gonna tickle your fancy here." That's what it's supposed to do. I'm gonna be doing another one of Tim's stories. I'm hoping to get PA and Filia to help me with it.
Yes.
But
We have to do that.
it's not got the title of the parts of the stories. It's this 3-part series. They're not very very long, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree. It sucks that great writers like Casey have to play the algorithm. N.M. Wrights is another one that has to play the algorithm. That she's wonderful.
I don't know about being a great writer, and I don't know what to do with what you said, but thank you.
Just accept it. That's all you can do.
It's
Yeah.
great if you want to chew coffee. If you want to chew coffee, you go get you some of that. Hard pass. I have a Keurig for that.
Wait, who's chewing coffee
Ooh,
and
What
why?
the fuck? What the fuck?
Let's talk about military camp coffee.
Sock Goblin, there's a place called is it Nuke's Coffee? I'll look it up. I'll have it for the next show.
Okay.
The Quartering has a coffee shop now, and from what I've heard, it's very, very strong coffee. Muddy water.
I swear to God, Matt, it's a cadence. I think every branch has their version of that cadence. They say that in the Navy, the coffee's mighty fine. Looks like muddy water and tastes like turpentine. I'm going to have that stuck in my head all weekend, and it's going to be your problem, Matt.
When my husband makes coffee, I call it stinky water. What does that say?
He doesn't know how to make coffee.
He's the only one in the house that drinks anything like it.
I can't drink coffee because it just the taste of coffee just is gross to me. So I have to make it so sweet that it's essentially me drinking diabetes, and I'm like, this is bad for my health. I'm just not going to drink coffee.
Coffee is not whiskey.
So,
if I'm drinking coffee, I want to enjoy it. If I'm drinking whiskey, I don't want to remember the next week or the last one. I don't need to enjoy that. That's just a delete button. I want to enjoy my coffee.
No, see, I enjoy my whiskey. No one's taking that from me.
Yeah, you do. You do enjoy it.
Oh, I love whiskey, but also I drink straight wild turkey. I give no fucks. If I'm drinking whiskey, something has gone wrong.
Casey, you give no fucks about anything.
I don't, but you've never seen me on a wild turkey night, man. It's even worse than normal.
I haven't, but
I think the whiskey I have in my hand right now is called Larceny, and it's the bottle's really freaking neat because like on the bottle it has like a keyhole, and if you look inside the bottle, you see like a little black key that's printed inside the bottle. I'm like, that's pretty freaking neat. I like this bottle.
You care about pretty bottles, man. I care about how quick I'm gonna pass out before I get in a bar fight.
If I'm going,
I don't go to the bar. I drink.
For me, that's Jose Cuervo.
Yeah,
I don't go to a bar,
tequila,
Casey.
yeah.
I'm an alcoholic. We drink alone.
Timothy.
Right?
If I want caffeine, I'm going for a caffeine drink, like balls.
I've been drinking balls since high school, but I feel like a lot of people are not going to have that context.
Yeah, but I love balls. They're just the drinks are so good.
Oh, by the way, anybody who doesn't know, people who write also have a tendency to drink. It's kind of it kind of comes with the territory of being an author.
I don't drink, but that's beside the point. Oh my goodness, Matt. Okay, Matt's got to go for a bit.
Yeah, I'm not an alcoholic. Alcoholics won't quit. That's true. We don't quit.
But
Although I do like to remember the night prior, so I know I didn't think stupid.
no, that's not how you spell
I used to
it.
go to the
What
Legion
fuck?
Hall to get drunk. When I first come home from the Navy, I turned 21. I go to the American Legion Hall. They were giving me double shots at 101 and 151. And I thought I was being
Oh,
smart.
so
There was this little TV, and I'm like, yeah, every time a new show comes on, I'll have a shot. I'll be good. They were changing the channel. I got so fucking drunk.
So, Casey, fun story. I had a friend who had just come back, or actually come back from the Navy. He was on. It was my sister's birthday, or was it my birthday? It might have been my birthday. I don't remember. I don't remember that night. I don't remember much that night either. But he's like, drinks are on me, and I'm like, okay, cool. I don't have to buy alcohol tonight. Sweet. I was pretty trashed. I'm not gonna lie. And he goes, hey, you want one more shot for the road? And I look at Jamie and my sister. I'm like, one more? She's like, sure. So he brought me something, and this is how drunk I was. I didn't taste it, but it burnt my lip. I look at him with the most serious face that I could muster. I'm like, what in the fuck did you just give me? He's like, oh, no big deal. I just gave you 151. And I'm just like, oh, tonight's gonna take a bad turn. And then I threw up in my sister's brand new car, and I inside the air vents, and I had to spend the morning hungover cleaning out her car.
Yeah, my husband uses 151 to make dragon's milk.
Yeah.
Dragon's milk beer is delicious.
No, not beer. Let's see. We've got.
No. There's a beer.
Yeah.
There's a beer. It's called Dragon's Milk Stout, and it's freaking delicious.
Okay. Dark Child Audio, welcome. And I say I don't drink, and I'm a writer, but I do tend to, if I've got Dr. Pepper or water sitting in front of me while I'm writing, it goes really fast. I mean, it really goes really fast.
Mia,
Yeah.
all you need to do to get drunk is have a Coke, okay?
This is true.
Yeah.
Or Pepsi.
Yes, for some reason Mia gets drunk off cola sodas. We don't know why, or I don't know why at least. Maybe she does.
My body there's something in the cola drinks. All of them have cola beans in them. There's something in the cola beans that my body processes differently, and when it processes, it's like I'm drunk. I'm talking about Coca-Cola, like Pepsi Cola, RC Cola. Yeah.
So Mia can get drunk cheaper than all of us combined.
Yeah, that's why I drink Dr. Pepper.
Uh-huh.
Army.
Okay.
I hardly ever drink anymore because I always get migraines, so
Okay.
takes the fun out of it.
Yeah. So, I'm seeing that apparently we have a lot of writers in the chat, and I'm really happy about that. If a narrator comes to you and says, I want to do your story, but I want to change the title to this, and I want to change this part or that part, how do you feel about that? Because personally, there's a reason that I named it what I named it.
For me, it entirely depends on the situation. I've had writers do that, and they're like, hey, I'm doing a compilation video. I can't include all of the story titles in the name. Let me know if you think this is appropriate and describes your story, because this is the theme I'm going. If it's like, hey, you said my title was Shit Brain Fuckface, and they wanted to change it, that would make sense. Yeah. But with changing the titles, it's something you have to ask about, and it is entirely contextual because it affects your Creative Commons licensing so much. Any narrator who has asked me to change this title has been upstanding, has included credits, has not violated my copyright in any way, doesn't bother me. What this dude did to me is illegal, frankly.
It is.
And it is not common practice. He is the only narrator I've seen do that. There was one larger narrator who gave heads up. He said, "Hey, I'm going to reword this, see if it changes the algorithm anyway, in any way." And I was like, "Cool. Let me know, because then I'll adjust my stories."
Right.
That was the one exception. And within 2 days, he changed the title back.
I know that there's a large, well, I think he's really large, narrator that when he first started, he didn't know he had to ask permission. And he took a lot of videos off of his channel when he learned that he needed to get permission, because he didn't have permission to do them. And then he went back to those authors and said, "Hey, I did your story. I didn't know I had to ask permission. I'm asking permission to redo it now." And most of them said, "Yeah, no problem." But yeah, it's
See, and in that circumstance, that's another one that would entirely depend. I was talking about how narrators pay me. When I get paid as a writer in this community, it is because that narrator is paying me for exclusivity. So nobody can do the story for 3 months before or 3 months after. That way it's fresh to them.
right.
If a writer or if a narrator came to me and was like, "Hey, I did this," and it happened to be in one of those periods, legally I cannot allow them to do the story, because I have a signed contract with the narrator. If I didn't have something like that going on and they were like, "Hey, my bad, I just learned this, I want to do this the right way," I'd be like, "Cool, you owned your mistakes, let's talk about this."
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I had a friend like that. Her name was Lunar Lucy. She doesn't really narrate anymore, but when she first started up under that name, she had done it prior, and she didn't know about asking, so she didn't ask people to read their stories, and they copyright struck her, and she got back to them, and she's like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know, I took them down, blah blah blah." And when she came back under Lunar Lucy, someone's like, "Hey, don't trust her, she steals stories." And I asked her about it, and she explained it, and I'm just like, "No, she owned her mistake, she took down the stories, she's doing it right now. I'm not going to hold one mistake against her. She continued to do it wrong, then I would then then I'd hold it against her. I'm not going to hold one mistake to for someone who's a newbie against them."
Well, and I have a friend like that. The girl who very, very first did my stories, she just started. I wrote her a couple stories. I didn't think anything of it. A few weeks later, she comes out with a video, and she's like, "Hey, I was just placed on the blacklist." And a lot of people don't know what the blacklist is. We have a no sleep creepypasta blacklist where we list narrators who have stolen stories, don't give proper credit. They're reached out to by the people who run the blacklist, and you can see their responses. And Goblin Princess Kyo, I absolutely love her. She was like, "I fucked up so bad. Here is a video apologizing, for one. And for two, these are all the laws. This is where you find the blacklist. And this is how to do this correctly. Learn from my mistakes." So her take on what happened, like, she owned it. She was honest, cool. Campfire Tales basically told me to go get bent.
I think that's the worst part of all of this, is he wasn't even man enough to say, "Okay, yeah, maybe this is not right."
And when I approached him, I'm like, "Hey, I'm giving you advice as somebody who has been in the community for 5+ years. I'm giving you advice as a published author."
Yeah.
And he still dismissed me because he has 20,000 followers. And it's like, dude.
Just to let you guys know, this conversation does have the conversation that she had with Campfire Tales has been documented. Yeah, she has receipts. So,
oh yeah,
it's
if
not
anybody
like
wants to see them, find me. I'm Casey Ware Alien, wherever it's pertinent to my writing. You can hit me up. I will send you the entire conversation. I think I even have screenshots from the comment section.
Discord.
We also have all of her info in the description.
Yes.
And
Look, I'm not nearly as big as you, Casey, when it comes to writing. But if someone stole my story, oh, I'd be going to war real quick.
oh yeah, no, like I said, I had a lawyer. And the thing is none of us are really big when it comes to writing. And it's important to remember that, like, maybe one or two of us out of the whole Reddit subreddits that are relevant may become the next Edgar Allan Poe. We might be the next Oscar Wilde.
Right.
But when you approach a writer, don't assume that we have no experience. I have over 30 stories. None of them, like I said, I'm not Jack Townsend. I'm not Vincent V. Cava. You don't know I wrote the stories, but if you've been in the community, you have heard my stories. So if you're a narrator, don't approach a writer with a story that only has like 50 upvotes or whatever, like we're idiots.
Yeah.
Everybody has hits.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we don't.
And see, and see, me also as a narrator, I had what I refer to as an advantage. It wasn't an unfair advantage. It was an advantage. I had been in this community so long that I already knew about asking for permission. I already knew about not screwing with authors. Or I already had all that information at my disposal, so I had an advantage to not screwing up.
Yeah.
Well, and Scary Teller, that was the issue with this guy. I was like, look, you don't mention my name. You took the title. And he completely ignored and dismissed me. He was like, this is common practice. This is how this community works. It's not. I was lucky to be in the position where I am to know it's not. And I'm in a position to do this interview to out him. Mm-hmm. Because there are narrators like him actively victimizing writers, and the writers can lose their copyright over shit like this.
And
not only that,
so it is becoming more common. It is becoming more commonplace amongst narrators to not link back to Reddit, because YouTube has been pinging their channels with like copyright violations because of all the NSFW stuff on Reddit. So what they've been doing is they've been saying they give the title the author's name, and then they say like where you can find the title, the author, and they give the Reddit name and all that. I still link to the story.
That's cool. If that's an issue, ask me.
My luck runs out.
Yeah, and somebody needs
until my luck runs out.
Somebody needs to let all the Reddit writers know that. I don't know that all of them know that there is an issue. I still put it in there. So, they may not know it's an issue. I tried to link to another video and a comment to a video, and my comment was removed by YouTube.
Yeah. Like, I do let the author know that if I see any NSFW work on their channel for guideline reasons, I won't link to the story, but I'll have everything else pertinent. And if you have a website, give it to me, and I will link to the website. And I've not had one person go, "No, it's not okay. You have to link to the story." They're like, "Oh, thank you for letting me know. It's not a problem." Like,
now, see, and he never asked. He did not ask for any of the places I had posted. He did not ask. I have a link tree, both for my writing and my business. And he didn't ask for anything.
And Casey, I even when I have permission, I go and I ask you. But I also ask, what links do you want to have? What links do you want to have on this story?
And in fact, Casey, I don't know if you've noticed, but still in every one of my videos, in the description are your links because you created that intro.
I thought
still to this day, I put your links in my. Oh no, sorry, that was AK's.
Yeah, that was AK Phoenix.
AK Phoenix. Yeah, but like to this day, AK, yeah. But to this day, AK's links are still in my description because she made that intro for it. Like anytime someone does something for the channel, I make sure to link back to them, because I'm not going to try to take credit for somebody else's work, even if it's something as simple as an intro video.
Well, and that's something I think writers need to be aware of too. Is if you are not credited properly, if your story is mistreated, if you are unhappy, you have the legal right to revoke permission and file a DMCA.
Yes.
You can file a cease and desist letter. You can even go to court. We do not have to tolerate people not doing what's right, and we shouldn't.
And I want to point out another thing because it's very similar. I let a narrator use my story. He still has full permission. However, he used it for a collab. Now, here's the thing, guys. If someone uses your story for a collab and the person whose channel it's on does not give you permission, you can still file that claim because he is not giving the author due credit. And I commented on his video and he deleted my comment because he only credited the narrators.
That's wrong. Hey, Reaper.
I
do know
that's crap. I had a 50 author collaboration. 50. And I tagged every single story. Did every single one. Everything had a title card saying who the author was and who was narrating them. And there was it was so documented. So that's bullshit.
I even know people whose collabs were so long that they couldn't put all of it in the title description. So they had to post it in a comment and then comment on that comment just to get all the credits in. But they got them in, by God.
I've done that too.
Right.
I've done that too. The thing for the blacklist. Casey's mute because the baby's crying. Casey's got a 1-year-old little alien, and she's adorable.
But
that's
what happens when you anal probe without protection, people.
So
that was funny.
With the blacklist, yes, it was. With the blacklist, they don't just. It's not an immediate blacklist if you do something wrong. They will come to you and say, "Hey, this is how things work. This is how it's supposed to be done," right? And they will give you a chance.
Sorry, I'm reading the comments. In case it's like, "Sir, there was protection."
Swallowed the fork.
I love it.
Most of the people that have made it on the blacklist have made it there because they basically said, "Fuck you."
Repeat offenders.
And understand, guys, there are different levels of the blacklist. If you mess up once, they will put you on the beginning blacklist, where if you fix your mistake, they will watch your channel, and then after, as long as you don't do it again, they take you off. You're not permanently on there unless you continue to just ignore their requests and keep doing the same thing, and then they put you on the permanent blacklist. There's a temporary and then a permanent blacklist.
Yeah.
You don't want to end up on the permanent because then you'll never get taken off.
Okay, so here's the thing.
That's important to know. So if you make a mistake, you don't need to worry about it forever.
Okay.
Right.
Good,
amazing what the fuck, yes I did, and that's why certain authors like to get me to swear.
Myself and all three of the people that are here in the chat with us, and a huge, and I'm talking huge group of people, when we get newbies in, as in new narrators, we basically give them a list of do's and don'ts. And the number one thing on the list is always credit your writers.
Yeah.
So we are trying, but there's so many new people and they don't all come into our area.
Yeah,
it's like there's groups.
And then there's some of them that when by the time we get to them and we make a comment and we're trying to help them, they're like, "Look, you don't even have the right to talk because you only have X number of subs and you've been at this for so long. You should have more subs than that. So you know what? I don't have to listen to you." And then they go on Twitter and try to make you sound like an idiot.
And that's where I was talking about the respect not being there.
Right.
Yeah.
That was simply
that actually happened to me.
I know it happened to you. I don't even know what happened to that particular author. Not author.
She's
narrator.
Still around. She's still around.
Oh, is she?
Yes. I actually granted one of her. I ran into one of her videos the other day, and I actually told YouTube I do not want to see this creator on my feed. Because you can do that.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
Sub count equals legality. No, it doesn't. Sub count does not equal legality. And it doesn't protect you from anything. Recently had to do a takedown request on a story I wrote that was stolen yet again by the same
By the same person.
I know who you're talking about. Is that the coffee story? Because I keep running into the coffee story. But yeah, I know who you're talking about, and yeah, he's still doing it, and I refuse to look at any of his videos either. There are certain groups of people that I don't look at, and very few narrators are on that list, but there are a few, and one of them was that particular one. We also have problems, narrators at least, have problems with people taking our video and putting it up as their own. Some of them change the video part. Some of them don't. Some of
That's
them
where
don't.
watermarks.
Some of them don't even. They don't even take off our information on them. You know? We had that one that
Yeah.
it actually was the original narrator telling people, hey, come to this if you want to send me a story, my email is blah blah blah, and he didn't even take that off. He didn't even bother to do that. He just put it back up so he could get clicks.
Noticed, and don't mean this disparagingly to the whole people of this area of the world, but I found that a lot of those people that do that are from the Southeast Asia kind of area.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I don't know, but watermarks, that's a lot of narrators don't know about the watermark. You can just like on a legal piece of paper, that if you hold it up to the light, you can see.
Mm-hmm.
That's called a watermark. And you can actually watermark your videos, but you can't watermark your stories.
I just actually learned how. I've been doing the watermarks the hard way.
Yeah.
Like going into the video and actually putting watermarks on the images I use. I just found
YouTube
out.
Will do that for you.
Yeah, but some people know how to remove that watermark.
Oh.
So I was putting it on the images so that they couldn't be removed, so because they're actually on the video, not on YouTube's broadcast video. So I just found out how to do, and it's so easy. And I feel stupid because it is so easy to do it the way that I've just learned how to do it. But I'm going to start doing it that way and see if that, because it's embedded in the video.
Right.
It's still up on the Horror Amino Reaper. I just checked again.
And back. Baby is temporarily distracted.
The alien is distracted.
Yeah, she needed snacks.
Snacks? She's supposed to be sleeping.
Yeah.
Or did the mommy alien need snacks?
Snack time.
Yeah, her nap time did not last what it normally does, so it's like crap. So she's got like a tray of an assortment of snacks and juice, and she can maintain for a little bit. She's good.
Yeah. We've all had babies and dogs, and it's all good.
Yeah.
Parrots.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Sugar
We
baby.
understand that we are not professional, and life happens. So.
But yeah, theft of work is not good. I don't care how it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. And people really need to learn how to, and it's not even that hard, but how to credit your author.
I don't think
I don't know. It's just,
if we rely on individuals to have a moral compass, nothing will happen. What needs to start happening, and I understand, like, I've got money to burn on a lawyer, not everybody does. But unless we as content creators, whether you're a narrator or an author or whatever your situation may be, start taking legal action. Because Campfire Tales has been going for how long getting away with this?
yeah, exactly. Yes.
These
And he doesn't
websites,
care.
these narrators, they don't care. And the only way they're going to care is if it hits their bottom line.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a lot of people feel like they don't have the right. And that's not correct. You have the right to defend your work. And if you do not take action to defend your work, then you lose your copyright. Then you lose a trademark. Then you lose all of the protections you have. If somebody violates your work and you do not file against them, you lose all protections. So you have to take action.
And see, that's like I said, that's one of the reasons why I worry about letting other narrators do my stories. Because I worry about, I worry about theft. I worry about somebody taking what I'm doing and changing it or claiming it's theirs. And I watched, Ronnie did a video, I guess it was when all that stuff was coming about the bigger channels that weren't paying the writers on Reddit the way they should.
Mm-hmm.
When all that came out, Ronnie did a video on copyright. And I recommend it to anybody. I don't have it right in front of me right now. I can't even remember the name of it. But I know it had copyright in the title. And it's so straightforward and right. That piece is copyrighted the minute you publish it. Whether it's on Reddit or on YouTube or on Facebook or I'm trying to think of other places. Wattpad.
Basically anywhere. Your intellectual property and your copyright exists the moment you create an original piece. If you alter somebody else's work, you have no protections. But to maintain that claim, you have to be willing to defend it. Like with trademark, if you made something with Mickey Mouse and a million other people made something with Mickey Mouse and Disney did nothing, they would lose the trademark on Mickey Mouse. That's why you see on Etsy, shops go up and down every single day. On YouTube, videos get taken down all the time because they're defending their work. And that's the big thing people don't understand is you need to do that. You have to do that if you see your work being misused.
Yeah.
Or you're saying it's a free-for-all and it's Creative Commons. Anybody can use it.
But even if it's Creative Commons, the author still deserves to have it credited to them.
Morally, yes. Absolutely. Morally, they should. Legally, there would be no protection. So unless we as content creators start taking that legal stand, this is going to continue. And I get the not wanting somebody to change your story. Like, everybody has things they're protective of. That being said, my house was broken into this last week. Somebody stole some stuff. I did everything I could to protect it. If you put anything anywhere, something exists. There's a way for somebody to steal it. What's important is how we protect it and how we pursue somebody who has violated that.
Well, I have an idea. I don't know if it'll work, but we know a lot of people that are involved in a lot of these subreddits. Some people I can't think of any of the people right now, of course, but they have huge subreddits where there's thousands and thousands of people that are attached to it, and you can go and get stories from there.
Right.
We need to start making public service announcements on those subreddits on how to credit, and so I don't know how it'll work, but that's just my idea, is figure out a kind of a community-wide basic, this is how you should do it.
Absolutely.
This is the bare minimum.
The thing with that,
everybody.
There are 2 different creepypasta subreddits.
Yeah.
One of them states right in the description, you do not have to credit authors, you do not have to ask for permission. So people will steal stories and post them there. People will post them there not reading the rules. Like, we need to take any avenue we can to raise awareness about this issue. Posting, doing videos, whatever we can, but we also have to look at where the players are. None of my stories are on the public use Reddit. There's thousands of authors who don't know any better and don't know by using that Reddit, they just gave away their copyright.
Right.
They just sold themselves out. They have no protections. So not only do we need to engage in the different community posts, we need, I don't want to say ostracize, but we need to make sure we step away from the platforms that allow misuse and that make us give away our rights.
Right. I agree.
And if we can reach out, because it's like everybody has, we've got our basic group, but everybody has connections to other groups outside of us. So if we all started putting this, these little rhizomes out from, that's like a rhizome is like a root, these little threads out to the other people, we can get a large amount of the community.
Well, I think that I haven't been in there in a while, but I think there's talk in there of it recently. No Sleep OOC, because No Sleep, if you post in No Sleep, it has to be a story. You can't put a PSA, quote unquote, in there. But if you go in the No Sleep OOC, that's where you can discuss things that are not stories, but are story related. And I know there was a couple months ago, I think there has been again recently, where, people need to be credited. You make sure that when it's, and that's something authors have to go and double check when, like you did, going to look at the video and seeing, he didn't do that. He didn't do it right. He literally didn't do it right. But it's just, you have to be careful where you post things, and you have to be careful when somebody else is using your work. I right now dearly want to do George Orwell's 1984.
Yeah, you got a long time on that before that becomes public domain.
It's actually public domain in Australia.
But you're not in Australia.
I'm not in Australia, and that's the point, is I'm not in Australia. That's another thing that we have to watch. I've seen narrators do it, but they're in Australia, so they can do it. It's in the public domain there. And I don't think that the law says that they can't just because YouTube is based in America.
Yeah, each country and region is different on that, and it's definitely a country by country thing, because, like, for example, with my business, I have to be European Union compliant, because somebody from the European Union can see my website. Doesn't matter whether they can buy it or not. If they can see it, I have to be compliant. So, like, when you get into, like, the EU, they have their own laws. Australia is going to have their own laws. That's really location specific.
Yeah. And it's just something that we have to be aware of. this is not just a Reddit author issue. It can happen if you're going directly from the author to you. I will send it to you after the show if that's okay, hon. Oh, I might be able to do it right now. Not sure.
Hey, Dexter.
Hi,
Welcome
Dexter.
back.
Hey, Dex.
It's something that again, I do a lot of my own stuff, but I still do other people's, and I make sure, hey, what links do you want in it? I've actually been told by a couple authors, yes, I'm talking about you as the Raven Dreams, you put too many links.
Yeah, Raven told me that before,
some-
because he like I did one of his videos and I put every single link of his that I could find in the description. He's like, "Holy shit, bro! You put all of my links in." I was like, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
told you I was going to."
I did
I don't
that
remember
I thought you were
who.
joking. I was like,
There's
I don't
others
joke
that are
about
like,
that.
just put my Reddit. We'll be fine.
Somebody, I don't remember if it was one of you guys, but somebody went through and found my Instagram. They found my Twitter. I don't even use Twitter.
I
They found
think
my
it was
DeviantArt,
me.
my Etsy store. Like, there were like
No,
15
I didn't
I
do
links, and I'm
definitely
like, man, I haven't been
that
logged
was
into
definitely me.
sites in 3 years. I hope it still works.
So I
That
want to
was
touch on this.
that was
Oh, go
definitely
ahead.
me. I definitely sought you out on every social media platform I could. I think it was your very first video.
Yeah, I have a link tree for that, so just let me know. I'll save you some. I'll save
The
you some
link to the
characters.
link tree is awesome. So I want to say one thing real quick, because I have actually had this happen when I was doing that huge collaboration. A couple of the narrators gave me links to where the story was, but there was no, and it could have been that free creepypasta site. I don't remember, but there was no one to credit. So I believe I put credit, like credit can't be given or unable to give credit to author or something like that. I did the best I could, and I wanted people to know that, yes, there are some people here. Maybe I said it in my description. I don't remember. But it was stated in there that some of these don't have authors to credit because it's just not there, and there's no way for me to find it.
Right. And that's
I mean,
like
and that's due diligence.
I will do stuff, and I was saying I wanted to do some of the works by Michael Whitehouse before we went live, and his works are on the Creepypasta Wiki, which is by SA, which is fine, but I still want to reach out to him and say, hey, I really want to do...
The Creepypasta Wiki has come under fire multiple times over the years, because people will take stories that aren't theirs and post them there. So if you find something on Wiki, you gotta track down the original. That's where Goblin Princess Keo got in trouble. She did Feed the Pig, and the original author was like, yo, no, I didn't give you permission. And she was like, it was on the wiki under, Creative Commons.
Yeah.
So absolutely, if you find a story somewhere, you have to try and track down that author.
Right. And I do try. I've got 2 requests out to Easy Misery and Wendigus. I'm betting Wendigus is not going to give me credit, not going to give me permission, even though I asked for it. Because the story that she did, or he did, you might have heard it, Accounts from a Lonely Broadcast Station.
Yes, I am familiar with that one.
I don't think I'm going to get permission to do it. I would love to, and I've asked for it, but I don't think I'm going to get it. But that's okay. That's fine. Wendigus has the right to tell me no. I have the right to ask.
Yeah.
Now, the other one I'm probably more likely to get because the DVD series is less known. I've read all three of them and I love them. It's just I didn't realize what was going on until the last one, and that kind of that always gets me when it takes me that long to figure it out. That's a good story.
Yeah.
And yes, it is.
Oh.
It is the author's right and responsibility to their own creative work to protect their stories, to protect their writing. And it's just as bad as okay, what if I came on Twitter, and I'd never do this, guys, so but if I came on Twitter and I said, guys, I'm sorry, PA Nightmares is dead. Knowing he wasn't. Thanks, Matt, for being here. Knowing he wasn't. Come on and tell people he's dead.
Right.
I will never die. I will live forever.
But it's you know, he'd call me out on it. I know he would. But at the same time, it's just disingenuous. You know, who's going to believe anything I say after that?
True. It makes you look bad too.
Yeah.
In the case of you know what we have here, other than just these of us right now, there's no way to get to his following to let them know, hey, look, he's doing this. You think he's so great, and okay, maybe he's a good narrator, but he's doing this to the authors of these stories.
Oh, you can comment on his videos. If you see somebody stealing somebody else's work, call them out on the videos.
Yeah.
Right.
Do it till you get
They
blocked.
just get removed.
They may
Yeah.
remove it, but there's another way you can do it. You can report it.
Yeah.
No. If you are not the copyright owner, you cannot report somebody else's work. So what you need to do,
You could
you have
report it
to
to
tell
the
the-
author and tell the
Yeah.
author, I read you this story and this YouTuber did it and it's not the same. Or did they didn't credit you.
absolutely reach out to the authors, because the creators of the work are the only ones who have the legal right to file a DMCA. Otherwise, you can be taken to court. There's big lawsuits. There's loss of wages. If you don't own it, don't report it, but let the owner know.
Okay. Serious question here. We all know that the people sitting here that narrate, we over credit. I mean, we put that shit everywhere. What is the minimum acceptable credit? Verbal?
Whatever the author
written in the
requires.
whatever the author. Okay.
When
And is that put up front on your stories? Do you have like a little...
I
you know,
ask them,
in
we
the
talk
blurb?
about it. Within the community, there's a pretty set standard. You're included on the title card or the video description. There's standards within the community. Each author can determine themselves what is appropriate, because when you give a narrator permission to do your stories, you're entering into a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Right.
contract is by your terms.
And yes, Darkchild, you're right. You can say that they're impersonating the original creator. You can report
and
it that way.
Does that
That
become
is a-
libel? It's slander.
No.
I mean,
No.
Libel would be like if I was like, oh, Mina blew her boss and that's how she got a promotion, and then she lost the job for that.
oh, okay.
That would be libel and slander.
Especially if I didn't do
Okay.
it.
Right. If it wasn't true. I said that knowing it wasn't true. I hope not.
No,
You
it
do
wasn't.
you, girl.
Never mind.
But
I'm not going to get into that, but yeah. Spooky, 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 spooky. I did want to get you in on this. I want your opinion.
No, it's not spooky.
Hey,
It's
spooky.
boo. It's the boo boo.
We're talking.
But you still have time to time. Yeah, go ahead.
We are talking about a YouTuber who used the work of an author. In this case, it was Casey, and she did not get the correct credit for it. He changed the title and he changed part of the story, going back and forth between tenses, which I know she doesn't do in her writing, and made it sound like it was his story when he did it.
Credit.
But he didn't ask her if he could change anything. He just asked her if he could do the story.
He literally buried the credits at the very, very bottom of his description page.
Right.
didn't include the title of the story anywhere, didn't include my name anywhere. It said author's credit link, and he had changed so much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so easygoing about my stories. Like I said, y'all have done them before. You guys message me, and I'm like, it's 2:00 in the morning. Do the fuck what you want.
Exactly, Spooky. Exactly. See, Spooky Boo knows. Hi, Josie.
Hey, Josie.
Y'all come in when we're getting
That's what we're having a big discussion about is, from the author standpoint, what they expect and what they would like, and then as the narrators, what we expect and what we would like to be able to do, and kind of an open forum.
Yeah. And
see, that's the thing is when I give permission, and a lot of people don't know all of the laws, when a writer gives you permission, that's a legal contract. So you're bound by all of the laws. So he can't really change the story without my permission. It is not published under Creative Commons. I retain all of the copyright on it. So without my permission, he can't alter a thing. I don't fuck around with my stories.
Right.
So if it was like on the one subreddit where it's like, oh yeah, this is Creative Commons, yeah, he'd be okay to do that. This was not a Creative Commons story.
And Creative Commons, for people that don't know, young newbie authors, don't put it there.
And
no, that's not fair to say.
Even
people
when
don't
it's got Creative Commons, you still need to give respect to the author that wrote it. I'm not going to do something from the Creepypasta wiki without trying to get a hold of the original author. If I can't do it, I might go ahead and put it up, but I will at least leave them several messages before I do it.
Right.
And that's a little bit of a gray area, because if you don't have permission, you can get copyright striked for that, whether you credit them or not. Right. Without permission, you can't legally do the story.
But if it's listed as Creative Commons, that's
if it's listed by the original author.
Right.
And that's where we run into issues in this community. I could copy and paste your story into Creepypasta Wiki, and it would be listed with a Creative Commons license.
Right.
But I do not have the legal authority or ability to grant people Creative Commons because I am not the story owner.
Right.
Right. But people still do it because they're assholes. And they'll do it to a lot of people.
And see, I'll get a hold. I didn't think I was going to get a hold of Shadow Swimmer 77. I thought, because I didn't see anything recent posted by him. And I sent him a DM and I said, hey, I'm wanting to do your Wicker Saga. I realize it's quote unquote unfinished, but I would like to get your permission. I know it's been done by other people. And he says, yeah, you could do it. And just send me a link because I'd like to hear it. Never had a female do it. That was it. That was all he wanted.
Yeah, We were talking about that earlier, Spooky Boo, and there's a lot of ways people have come up with around that. Like, I don't recommend, because there's so many different creepypasta and no sleep sites. Like, I'm on No Sleep OC, but they asked me for the independent website for permission. And, like, if you're finding something somewhere and it is a website where everybody can post to, you can't readily see the author, there's no profile, you have to do your due diligence.
Yeah.
Absolutely have to. Because a lot of the creepypasta fan sites, like the Creepypasta Wiki, like, the wiki went down a few years ago because so many people filed copyright claims against it. It was glorious. But that was a shit show of its own.
Yeah. And it is possible to get people taken down for doing that. It does take a while. Like Dark Child said, it took a long time to do it. But it can happen, because if you see something that you know isn't theirs, let the author know. Let everybody else know. You can make a comment. It'll probably be taken down, but you can still comment, and you can do the impersonation report, because it's something that bothers those of us who write and narrate more, I think, than those of us who just narrate. Except for those Spooky Boo writes too. Except for those who are well aware of what can happen if you abuse a writer.
You abuse a writer. You get a interview about you with a very angry writer.
Well, that's one thing that'll happen. Everybody knows your name. I mean, I'm sorry.
Just allow me to burn a bridge with me standing on it. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. But we
No need to worry at all.
We didn't actually ask you to come on for that, but it was nice that you had a subject you wanted to talk about. Spooky?
Yeah, you guys kind of asked me to come on again, and I'm like, oh, man, I got no idea what I'm going to talk about. And then this dude pissed me off, and it was like, I got it. Thanks for the inspo. I'll make sure to credit you.
Spooky.
Tonight's topic was brought to you by Casey Weir Anthony. Casey Weir Anthony, what the fuck? Casey Anthony is my head for what reason? Wow.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but please don't.
I can stand to be called a lot of things, but I don't think Casey Anthony is one of them.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from.
That's probably the worst thing I've been called this week. Damn.
Oh, honey, but I didn't mean it. It just...
He used to, apparently...
My brain.
Spooky, apparently he used to be under Zach Baby TV, and he's now under Campfire Tales. He did what he did to Casey under Campfire Tales, I believe. And
either name will take you to the current page.
Yeah.
Either name directs to his current page.
And he says all the narrators do it. Well, all the narrators don't do it. He's the only one I've ever seen do it, or even heard of doing it. And
yeah, he acted like he was big and bad. He's got 20,000 followers, which, like, if you're a small narrator, seems like a lot, or a new writer seems like a lot. But we got narrators out here with 2 million followers, and it's like, dude, I don't know what kind of pissant you think you are, but not today.
Yeah, not today, George.
Not today, Satan.
Yep. So who are we going to bash next week?
I don't know.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, we're not bashing anybody. We're just trying to inform.
I think this is the... Right.
And
this is the only time we've had an interview like this.
We're trying to inform and educate. We have said things,
yes,
warning people about this type of thing. not this
Right,
particular subject, but something like it. But we've never done one directed like this, and it's good
Yeah.
to do something serious
It
topics.
is. Yes, it is. And
Well-
definitely, if you missed part of it, you can, once it gets once the show gets published,
Go back and listen.
go back and listen to it.
Leave comments.
Listen to Casey. Leave comments, absolutely. Because we want to know. And share it with your friends. If you think this conversation could benefit somebody else, share it with them.
Yeah.
Say, hey, listen to this. Listen to what happened to this author. Kind of thing. Oh, sorry. I feel like I glanced over at the chat and I'm like, oh, those two are being like, baby, you don't want me to do that.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
like,
gonna
wait,
have
I
to
can't
watch one of our
see this.
video streams because like I'm not nice.
Okay,
Things
Matt.
get spicy playing Stardew Valley.
Matt. This is not
roast me. Yeah. I don't think you want that.
this
No,
is not that type of stream.
it's one thing. It's one thing if I'm looking at you in the kitchen and I'm like, really? It's another thing to do it in public. Let's not air out that laundry. That sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah. Bad idea.
It'll hurt your
we
feelings,
still have our
and you won't know what to do with yourself.
Oh, he'll know exactly what to do with himself.
Oh.
Go
Okay.
cry in a corner in depression.
Okay, so unfortunately,
Yes, he's messaging me. Okay, let me read this. Okay.
unfortunately, we're getting down to the end of our time here. Is there anything you want to ask us or say as the last words?
Yeah. Just be aware. Like, it doesn't matter how many subscribers somebody has, how long they've been in the community. If something doesn't feel right, if something doesn't meet your standards, you're not required or obligated to go along with it and accept it as standards. We set our own standards for our work and our behavior and our morals. And we choose whether we hold other people to that. That's what I did today. I told the guy, don't let me catch you doing this again. And he's uploaded more videos. And now here we are.
Yeah.
Right. And just because he doesn't do it to your stories anymore, doesn't mean he should be doing it to anybody else's either.
Right.
We as the community determine what is common practice and what is acceptable. And if we accept less than, we lose our rights. You'll never be able to publish those stories in a book.
Yeah. You teach people how to treat you.
Right. Right.
And this one needs a slap up the back of the head.
Definitely.
Oh, man. If I could beat him with my rolled up DD-214, I would. Act like my Navy story is yours. I think not.
Yeah.
Talk about a squared
I
away
need to make it more attractive to the readers or to the listeners. Yeah, no.
You want to see me throw down with a crippled up old veteran? I will. You could pay for that show.
And
I'd beat him to death with his fake command hat. It'd be great.
Throw some oil or mud in there. We could make lots of money.
Ooh,
Nah, he's not that kind of dude. You wouldn't want that. It would just get creepy.
Okay, so we have these discussions here because this is the Nevermore Collective. And I'm sorry, my voice is starting to give out. We are the Nevermore on the Nevermore Collective. This is a space for the community to do things that don't necessarily fit on your channel.
Or maybe you don't have a channel.
Or maybe you don't have a channel and you want to do something. You can put up videos. You can do live streams like this. I don't have my list in front of me.
Tutorials, gameplay.
Yeah, tutorials, gameplay, interviews, videos that don't actually work for your channel. Or maybe you want to try something new and you're not sure how it's actually going to work out. You can put them here.
We have several shows. We have the Traveler's Tavern. We have the Dark Nest podcast, the Nevermore Nerds. What else do we got? And I'm looking at what all we have because we've added
Brave
a bunch of
Matters,
people.
whenever it returns.
Yeah, Grave Matters when it returns.
Grave
in
Matters,
October.
yes, October, the first Thursday in October.
See, that's what hurts
when
me
we're-
is it's on Thursday, and I can't do Thursdays. Can't do Saturday nights. And we will be back next week. We will. I don't know who we're going to have yet, but we will be back next week, and we'll have something else to talk about. Don't know what. Don't know who. Don't know when. You always have something going on.
Well, we know when.
Well, we know when, yeah, because
6 o'clock,
we're
yeah.
6 o'clock Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern every Saturday, unless we tell you otherwise.
We just don't know what or who yet.
Right. You just have to find somebody. Actually, I have a few people that I'd like to nominate, but I don't know if we can get them in, and that's where it comes in. And that's the other problem that we have is some of the writers have gotten burned so many times they don't even want to talk to anybody that's a narrator.
Right. And if you happen to know someone, you people in the chat, that you'd like to hear from, send us a note and let us know who they are. We can reach out.
I just commented in the Traveler's Tavern. I'll let you guys decide if that's a good idea.
In Discord?
Yep.
I gotta change screens here. Bum, bum.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a terrible idea, but I think it would be funny.
It would be funny. But
It would be funny. I don't think we could get him, though. We're not CCG. CCG could get him.
Yeah, we'll see after this.
She would, I don't think she would just... Yeah. I have not spoken of this to her for that reason.
Yeah. But, yeah, we'll be back next weekend. We'll have somebody here. And if you want to put something up, we've got, let's see, me, Filia, PA, the Midnight Researcher, of course, as the Raven Dreams, because he's the one that put this up for everybody.
242.
242, Creepy Clown Girl.
Sleeping Wendigo. Sleeping Wendigo.
Yeah, Sleeping Wendigo. Seraphine. Dexter. I'm leaving someone out again. Silver Threads.
Other people.
Who's Sketty Hunter?
Yeah, I have no idea. There's a lot of ways
You
to
named
get...
you named the majority
to
of
us.
them.
Okay. And, yeah. We'll get them in and, tell your stories. I've been listening to some of your earlier stories, Spooky, and they're damn good. I don't know why you didn't think they were that good, but anyway. Triple the power. We'll add my husband's too, but he's Army. Does that count, guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's 5. That's a pretty thick sheet of 14s. Especially if we include service records. Ooh.
My housemate also was in the Navy, so we could do his too.
That's like a semi full of paperwork. I'd love to hit him with that.
Oh, God.
All right. So,
Anyway.
any last
Do you
words?
have anything
Anybody?
last... I was just going to say that. Anybody have any last words? PA, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Casey, do you have any final thoughts?
I don't have any last words.
No, I kind of made my comments. Protect your work and don't be afraid of people. They only have the power.
Don't plagiarize, kids.
Yeah.
And if
Otherwise, you're going to get an interview about you in a lawyer letter. It'll be great. Cry
if you need backup, just come and talk to some of us.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Because
remember,
Have joined the
that's what
collective. And once you join the
you can
collective,
leave. You can leave. Nevermore.
Nevermore. Gotta get it.